Welcome to night number 2 here at Eldorf, the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal. Tonight, it is the Joker's Wild 31 feature. Last night, we ran 2 dual 25 features. Tonight, there'll be 1 single main event, 30 laps to crown a winner. My name's Chris Murphy here with DRSN. Thank you so much for jumping on here with us tonight. Looks like we got I'm counting about 50 cars here so far. We were expecting 60. We got some big names here tonight. Last night's winner, new winners here during the Kings Royal Week. We had Bryce Heinstein picking up the win in the first main event. Second 25-lap feature went to Aiden Stoll. Take a look here at A-Case here in the number 1 on the racetrack. Greg Robinson out here in the 83. Few drivers making their way out onto the speedway. That Collinger, Lancaster, Pennsylvania is making the trip tonight. We're going to get right into qualifying. So we're going to do something a little bit different. If you haven't seen it, if you weren't with us last night, you haven't seen it before, we'll do 2 cars on the racetrack, open qualifying at the same time. And it's random to us. We're not quite sure who's going to come out on the racetrack first. We're going to see if hopefully it pops up on our timing and scoring for us here, who is coming out on the racetrack. So it's up to race control. They've got everybody split up into groups. They will send 2 cars out at once. And we looking like I'm counting 50 drivers here tonight. So qualifying is going to take us a little bit of time, but just a little something extra. We don't usually get to cover qualifying, so you should jump right into the race. So looking down Eldora Speedway track last night, we had a little bit of glitch with the iRacing server, so we did not quite get the second feature. Track was a little bit different than the first, but you expect Eldora to be right up on the top last night. 1 and 2 was at the top 3 and 4 slider line. You can already see right here after practice, the top of 3 and 4 already starting to dry out. So it looks like we're having a quick driver's meeting. And we will get underway for qualifying. 2-lap qualifying. Last night's fast time was Chris Sapsky at a 12:7:47. He was one of the first cars out on the racetrack. Set the fast time. Nobody could touch him, but Chris did not have a good night throughout the race. Well, Chris Sapsky's fast time last night. We'll see if anybody can top that 12:7:47 here tonight. Well, it looks like we still got driver's meeting underway. See if we can get a couple cars out here on the racetrack. A little bit of conversation going back and forth. Let the drivers decide whether we're going to do this 2-car open qualifying tonight, or go back to the single car kind of close qualifying where everybody's just on the racetrack by themselves. Drivers decided we wanted to stay with this format. All right, if more action coming your way this week. Tonight, the Joker's Wild. Tomorrow night, we'll be back again at 9 o'clock Eastern for the third night here for the Kings Royal. It will be the night before the Kings Royal, and Thursday night, we're back for the Kings Royal. See if we can crown a new champion. Only returning champion so far that we've seen signed up for the week is Mason Hannagan. Hannagan's won 2. Can he pick up 3, or will we have a new champion here tonight for the Joker's Wild? Last year's winner, Logan Rumsey. Logan not with us tonight. At least I haven't seen him out there yet. Tanner Pettit picked up the win in 2024. Hannagan won in 22 and 23. Ernie Williams Jr. was the winner of the Joker's Wild back in 2021. 2020, it was James Edens. And 2019, the first year of the Joker's Wild event here at the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal Week, was Justin Thomas. So that is your previous winners here. We're on the 9th annual Kings Royal Week. And once again, we're waiting for race control to get some cars out onto the speedway, get some opening laps here. And it looks like we're going to get Andrew May and A-Case out on the speedway first. First 2 drivers going to make their way out onto the racetrack. Bedford, Pennsylvania. The number 31 of Andrew May will be the first car to set the target here tonight. He's going to make his way off of turn number 4. Green flag, first lap in the air here for Andrew May. A-Case right there behind him in the number 1. Andrew May down the back straight, using the top of the racetrack. Going to come across the line first lap. A 13.341. AK is going to come across the line at 13.390. May right now with fast time out of the top, out of the first two cars out on the racetrack. May second lap across the line. 13.112, a little bit faster. Does Case have anything for him here on the second lap? No, 13.321. He is going to stay out on second. Next car is out on the racetrack. It looks like it's going to be David Baker and Colin Brewer. Baker will be the first car out onto the speedway in this group. And once again, as we've seen so far, the first few cars on the racetrack, Baker going to go into the corner, into one a little bit lower on the racetrack. Brewer way down on the bottom. Let's see what Baker does. A little different approach here on both ends of the racetrack. Going to be in the middle of the racetrack. First two cars out, we're way up on the top. Baker's going to come across the line. Go to third at a 13.50. Brewer going to knock Baker down to fourth. Brewer now up to third. Let's see if Baker can improve on that first lap. No, he's going to be slower. Brewer also going to be slower. Next car is out on the racetrack. It's going to be Greg Robinson and Jack Young. So Robinson in the 83, Jack Young in the 10. Jack Young involved in an incident during the feature last night. Let's see if he can get himself in a good position here for the heat races. We will have a random invert in the heat races as well. They will draw a number after qualifying is over to be 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So Robinson's going to come across the line his first lap. Second fast time for Greg Robinson. Jack Young across the line. 13.251. Jack Young down in second right now. Robinson gets knocked down to third. Robinson across the line in his second lap. 13.496. Going to be a little bit slower. Let's see what Jack Young's got. Jack Young across the line. And it looks like must have made the contact with the wall or something somewhere. His second lap is going to get scrapped. Michael Sheridan's going to be the next car on the racetrack. Also, right there behind him, John Klimowicz Jr. Sheridan here in about the fourth group coming out. He will start lap number 1 of a 2-lap qualifying. John Klimowicz Jr. in the 34. About a half a lap back. So let's see what Sheridan has. He's going to come across the line here for lap number 1. Right in the middle of the racetrack. Comes up off the top of turn number 4 across the line. Down in 7th for Sheridan. What's Klimowicz have? Klimowicz across the line. First lap for Klimowicz. Not going to get a recorded lap. He must have made contact with the wall. Here comes Sheridan for lap number 2. 13.76, a little bit slower. Klimowicz is going to get a lap in here, get a safety lap at a 13.627. So far, Andrew May still with fast time. Next car on the racetrack, Neville Ulf and Peyton Overmeyer. Peyton had a good run going last night. Watch for Neville to be quick right here off the top of turn number 4. He's going to be right up on the cushion through 1 and 2. Does he have anything for Andrew May? 13.112 is about 4/10 slower than we saw last night in qualifying. Neville off the corner across the stripe. 7th fast for Neville Ulf. Peyton Overmeyer. Fast time for Peyton Overmeyer. 13.103. Ulf with the second lap. He goes into turn number 3 down on the bottom across the line. This time by 13.456 and move up to 6. Overmeyer, can he improve on his second lap? And he ties it exactly the same at 13.103 on lap 1 and lap 2. Next car's on the racetrack, Rylan Gray in the 06 and Richie Gaines, the third in the number 11. And Rylan's got that number 06 right up on the fence. He's up on the cushion. Going to dive down off of turn number 2 down the back straight. He's going to take a little bit of slider line. Go into the middle of the racetrack, up on the cushion off of 4. Let's see what Ryan's got here across the line. Third best for Rylan Gray. Richie Gaines goes to the top at a 13.046. Rylan Gray with lap number 2. Off with turn number 4. He's got 4th right now. Can he improve on that lap time? No, he's going to be a little bit slower. Gaines is not... Oh, he's going to get a 13. A little bit slower there for Gaines as well. So Richie Gaines now with fast time at a 13.046. Next car on the racetrack is Zach Hollinger. And I don't see anybody else out there on the racetrack with him right now. So it looks like Zach's going to get a single run here. Zach Hollinger on the speedway. He's going to start lap number 1. Does he have anything for Richie Gaines? And Zach just kind of disappeared off my screen there for a second. Comes across the line to complete lap number 1. 11th fast at a 13.518 for Zach Hollinger. Lap number 2 underway. Did not look like he got into turn number 3 very well. Let's see what his lap time is here. And he is not going to get a second lap. Looks like he made a little cut. So what happened here, you make any contact with the wall, any contact with another car, anything like that, and iRacing is going to throw your lap out the window. And this looks like that's exactly what happened there to Zach. All right, so let's see who the next 2 cars out on the speedway. Waiting for race control to send somebody else out onto the racetrack. Zach Hollinger, our last car to put a lap in. So it looks like we got Bowen Smith, Braden Eyler. So it didn't give me that they were out on the racetrack. Smith comes in 4th. Eyler, good to see Braden here tonight. A 13.269. He's down in 6th. Bowen Smith a little bit slower on his second lap. Eyler goes faster on his second lap, but he's going to still stay there in 6th at a 13.239. Next car's on the racetrack, Chris Schaefer and Bryce Lucius. Lucius recently picked up his first World of Outlaws win. He's here with us tonight here for the Joker's Wild. Watch him up on the outside right against the wall. Lucius will get a lap here first in this group. Nice run off turn number 4. He's going to come across the line. Lucius with a second fast at a 13.051. Schaefer will come across for his first lap. 13.590 puts him down into 16th. Lucius, can he improve that second lap? And he is not going to get a scored lap on lap number 2, so he's going to stay there in 2nd. Schaefer comes across for his second lap. Can he improve on that 13.590? No, he is also not going to record a second lap. Corey Edmond out on the racetrack. Dustin Big Money Sargent will come out with him. Edmond started on the pole for his feature last night, or one of his heat races, so let's see what he can do here. Corey Edmond had a good car last night. Let's see what he's got here in qualifying. Dustin Sargent also out here in the 77 from Cleveland, Minnesota. Corey from Roca, Nebraska, off of turn number 4, running a little bit different line than we just saw Lucius run. Edmond across the line. He'll go up to 9th at a 13.302. Dustin Sargent down to 19th with a 13.662. Can Edmond improve on his second lap? Across the line a little bit slower to 4.03. Sargent across the line for his second lap. A 13.592. He does improve up to 17th. Next car out on the racetrack, it's Jay Schaefer. And it looks like Jeremy Zarfos. So Jeremy Zarfos and Jay Schaefer. Jay Schaefer, the first car out on the speedway. Black Diamond Motorsports number 3. Running that line, we've seen most the faster cars up on the top. He's going to run a little slider line down 3 and 4. Goes in on the bottom, up against the cushion, off the corner, across the line. Schaefer will come across his first lap. He'll move up to 7th at a 13.188. Zarfos, 13.512 down in 16th. Schaefer, lap number 2. 13.194, just a little slower than the first lap. Zarfos, can he improve? No, he does improve, but he's going to stay down in 13th at a 13.429. Next car is out on the racetrack, Michael Shuren and Joshua Pickle. So the 33 of Joshua Pickle, can he knock Richie Gaines off the top of the charts at a 13.046? Down to the middle of the racetrack, into 3, up off the top of turn number 4. Pickle's going to come across the line. First lap puts him in 15th. Shuren, Michael Shuren, does not get a first lap. So Pickle here for lap number 2. About 4/10 off the pole right now. He's going to have to make a big lap here if he's going to move up and take over the top spot from Gaines. He does improve by about 1/10 of a second. So Pickle now to 13th. Shuren, Michael Shuren is not going to get a lap in. Nick Downs will be the next car out onto the speedway. Randall Fox right there with him. Randall, a pavement specialist here with us tonight in the number 7. Threw his hat in the ring here for the Kings Royal Week. Let's see what Randall Fox can do here in the 410 sprint car. Right now it's Nick Downs in the 47. 22 cars have been out on the speedway so far. Let's see where Nick Downs. Nick across the line, his first lap. 13.907. That puts him down in 23rd. Randall Fox. 13.960 in 24th. So Downs in 23rd, Fox in 24th. Downs across the line. Second lap. Looks like it's going to be a little bit slower. Let's see what Fox has here for his second lap. A little bit better, but he's going to stay down there in 23rd at the 13.843. All right, let's see who the next car is out on the racetrack. All right, we don't see anybody out on the speedway at the moment, but looking for the next cars on the speedway. Sometimes what will happen here is we had it happen to us last night. We'll actually get cars on the racetrack, but we don't even see them on the racetrack here during this open qualifying. And I think that's going to happen right here because it looks like Aiden Stoll. Aiden Stoll's going to put a lap in. He's going to go up to 4th. And it looks like Adam Buchanan on the speedway with him. So Adam come across the line. Not going to get a time in Stoll with his second lap at a 13.21. So Aiden Stoll, one of last night's winners, is going to come across the line here in 4th. Now on the speedway, it's Anthony Villagran and Austin Griffey. Villagran in the 22. Austin Griffey out of Carlisle, Pennsylvania. But it's going to be Villagran across the line. Contact with the outside wall. That's going to scrub his lap. So Griffey's not going to get a lap in here. Or excuse me, Villagran's not going to get a lap. Here comes Griffey across the line. Griffey will go up to 16th at a 13.438. Let's see if Villagran can get a lap in here. Off a turn before across the stripe. Up to 11th at a 13.264. Griffey for his second lap. He improves to a 13.428. On the racetrack right now, it is last night's fast timer, Chris Sabeskay in the 21. He ran a 12.7 last night. I don't think the racetrack's got that in it tonight, but watch Sabeskay. It was quick last night. Can he take the pole here away from Richie Gaines? Chris Sabeskay across the line here for his first lap. Up to 11th at a 13.264. Joseph Groom. 19th, 13.452. Sabeskay for lap number 2. 13.269 does not improve his second lap. Groom across the stripe also does not improve on his second lap. So track's starting to go away. You can see a little bit more dust kicking up off the rear tires. We're getting a little more dry spots out there on the racetrack. And I think we may. I mean, it's going to take a great lap here from somebody to knock Gaines off the top of the charts right now, as it's Kyle DeBurrow and Matt Rogers on the speedway. DeBurrow, first time here with the Dirty Old Bastards last night, ran in the top 10 in the second main event. Let's see what he's got. Rogers actually across the line first at a 13.386. He's up to 16th. DeBurrow down in 30th at an 8.61. Rogers comes off of turn number 4 for lap number 2. Can he improve? Up to 10th at 2.46. DeBurrow's second lap. Does not improve. 9.04. Thank you. As it's scurrying. Pronounced like scurrying. Thank you. Appreciate that. Out on the racetrack right now, we find the 21 of Shane Gallo and Tony Dominguez. Actually, it's Sheridan and Gallo. Sheridan and Gallo on the racetrack right now. So Michael Sheridan for his first lap. 31 cars have qualified. Where's Michael Sheridan going to put himself? 29th, Shane Gallo across the line. Shane looked good last night. No lap here for his first lap. Must have made contact with the wall. Sheridan comes off of turn number 4 for lap number 2. And he's going to improve up to 17th with a 13.343. Gallo gets a lap in here at a 13.436. He will start 21st. Next car's on the racetrack. Tony Dominguez, Trevor Royer finished 3rd in the first main event last night. So Dominguez will be the first to cross the stripe. Off at turn number 4 for Tony Dominguez, his first lap on the speedway. 26 at a 13.506. Royer knocks him down, 13.308 up to 15th. Dominguez now for lap number 2 off the corner, across the line. Can he improve on lap number 2? He does at a 13.431 up to 22nd. Royer not going to improve. 4 thousandths of a second slower than lap number 1. On the racetrack right now is William Hobart in the 13. And it looks like he might be getting a single here. So the 13 of William Hobart. Into 3 and 4, right down in the middle of the racetrack, up off the top of 4. Hobart's going to come across the line. 29th at a 13.567. Hobart ended up upside down. Both wings knocked off the car last night. Looking for a better finish here in the Joker's Wild. A little bit slower, 13.658. Currently the top 10 separated by 0.2 of a second. Nobody so far has gotten close to Richie Gain. Well, Lucius was close he was 5 thousandths off, but nobody since then has been able to get up the charts, or anybody under the 13.2s at that point. So right now, let's see who we got on the racetrack. I don't see anybody on my screen. And we're going to get a mystery car pop up on the screen here in just a second. I'm sure what's going to happen. And it looks like your last night's winner, Bryce Einstein, was out on the racetrack, even though we couldn't see him. He's going to move up into 10th. Chris Lynn also out there on the track with Bryce, down in 30th. Next out on the speedway is Jeffrey West in the 24. Jeremy Childers. Or Childers. Somebody correct me on that one, too. I think we got about a dozen cars left to qualify. West looked good during some of the 360 races we covered earlier in the spring. Let's see what West can do here. Running right in the middle of the racetrack off the corner. Up to 27th at a 13.477. Childers. 13.575, a 33rd spot on the charts right now. Here comes West. No time for Jeffrey West. Jeremy Childers comes across for his second lap. He does improve at a 13.425. He'll move up to 21st. Next on the speedway, we find Johnny Vaughn Jr. And I don't see anybody else out there with him. Maybe Satterfield or Hoffman. Hoffman's down in pits right now. So it looks like Vaughn's running a single. All right, next car looks like they're going to be Hoffman and Satterfield. Johnny Vaughn Jr. across the line for his first lap. 13.776. So the track is really going away. Not much grip up there on the top. You can see Vaughn trying something a little bit different here through 3 and 4. Enters way down on the bottom, comes up off the cushion. He's going to come across the line for lap number 2. He makes a big improvement, 0.4 of a second. 13.372. That'll move him up into 20th. Kenny Hoffman and Robert Satterfield. Hoffman missed the show last night. Expect him to be quick here at Eldora. Tanner Pettit Racing number 1. Right up against the fence down the back straightaway. He enters turn 3 right up on the cushion. Here comes Kenny Hoffman. Is he going to get a lap in here? No, Kenny Hoffman made some contact with the wall, did not get a lap. Satterfield up to 26. We'll jump back to Hoffman here. See if he can get a safety lap in here. Comes off at turn number 4 across the stripe. Up to 15th at a 13.278. Satterfield a little slower on his second lap at a 13.578. Ryan Avila, second place finisher last night. Shane Lobos out on the speedway. Ryan, another Tanner Pettit Racing driver out here on the 49. We've got, looks like we've got about 6 cars left to go here on the racetrack. Or here in qualifying. Avila will come across the stripe for his first lap. Nigth at a 13.196. Lobos for his first lap in the 29 out of Hershey, Pennsylvania. 45th at a 14.374. Let's see if Avila's got something in him. Lap number 2. And no, he is not going to get a recorded lap there for the second lap. Lobos, can he improve on his second lap? He does not. A 14.903. Next on the speedway, Spencer Putney. And it looks like Stephen Hassett. So Putney out on the speedway in the 17. Well, it took me 45 cars to realize my car sounds were a little bit low. All right, Putney, let's see what he's got here. He starts lap number 1. Across the stripe, Spencer Putney. 24th at a 13.392. Here comes Hassett. Hassett is not going to get a first lap. Let's see what Putney's got here for lap number 2. Slight improvement at a 3.18, but he's going to stay down there in 20th. Hassett gets a lap in here, but down in 46th. Next car's out on the racetrack. It's the 24, Tanner Pettit Racing. Maybe I need to refresh my skins right there. We'll take a peek at that. Pettit looks like he's going to get a single. Pettit's going to come across the line. Lap number 1. 17th at a 13.291 for Tanner Pettit. Lap number 2. Off the top of turn number 4 across the stripe. Does he have it in him? Up to 10th. Top 10 there for Tanner Pettit at a 13.230. JP Smith now out on the speedway. Sunbury, Pennsylvania driver J.P. Smith in the 73. Maybe he's going to be the last car out on the speedway. Does he have anything for Richie Gaines? Smith across the line. No, 44th for Smith, and he is going to park it after 1 lap. That is going to round out qualifying. 51 cars here. 49 cars took a lap in qualifying. It was Richie Gaines, the third, coming out on top at a 13.046. Now we got to see what the random draw is for the heat races. So race control right now working on getting our spinning what they call the wheel of misery. And we will get heat race number 1 underway. It looks like it's going to be 6. It was 6 last night. It's going to be 6 again tonight. So your fast timer, Richie Gaines, will start outside of row number 3 in heat race number 1. All right, we've got just a few seconds here left to go in qualifying. Full field of 51 cars. We were expecting 60 here tonight. Field may grow as the week goes along. Tomorrow night, it's the night before the Kings Royal 35-lap feature. Then we come back on Thursday night for the Kings Royal 40 laps to crown a new king, possibly a new king, or can Mason Hannagan bring home crown number 3. All right, so it looks like we might be... It's like our grid is not cooperating with us tonight, so we're just going to have to go off of what we see on the screen. Let's see if everybody gets on the racetrack, see if it'll work here for us. But right now... All right, there we go. On the pole here for heat race number 1, it's the 17 of Spencer Putney. Kenny Hoffman to his outside. Inside of row number 2, it is Matt Rogers. And Ryan Avila will start in 4th. Inside of row number 3 in the 5th starting spot, it's a 31 of Andrew May. And in 6th, your fast timer of the night, Richie Gaines the 3rd. Starting in 7th, inside of row number 4 is Joshua Pickle. And Tony Dominguez will start to his outside. Back to row number 5, starting in 9th. It's Devil Ulf. And Zach Hollinger will start in 10th. That is your 10 cars here. 4 cars will transfer to the feature. And we will get underway here for 8 laps of action. Hey, Brady, see you up there in the YouTube chat. Thanks for jumping on there. Appreciate it. All right, so we have done the manual shuffle. We'll see the pace truck pull in here this lap, but we will not go green. We'll go around one more time. We'll have a manual start. You'll see this all night long throughout the heat races. Hoffman on the outside, Putney on the bottom. So you can see Barney up there waving the green flag, wants them to go, but we're going to stay here under caution. Until we come off of turn number 4, Putney will set the pace. Spencer Putney with a great start. The lead Hoffman up on the outside. Matt Rogers down there on the bottom. They're side by side through 1 and 2. Rogers able to cross up in front of Hoffman. Hoffman cuts under off at turn number 2. Going to be able to slide up in front of Rogers. Here comes Avila now on the outside. Putney out in front. Hoffman to 2nd. Avila now up to 3rd. Rogers falls back to 4th. Gaines up to 5th after starting in 6th. Putney now has got Hoffman all over the back of him. Putney, Hoffman, Avila, Rogers. Hoffman takes a look to the bottom into 3 and 4. He is going to slide up in front of Putney. Putney crosses back over off of 4 down the front straightaway. They're side by side. Putney has to hold on to the middle of the racetrack. He does not have position to slide up. That's going to let Hoffman with a run off of 2 take the lead here 4 laps into this race. Halfway through. 3 and 5 to go. That's the halfway mark right there. 4 down. 4 to go. Hoffman, Putney, Avila. Ryan Avila takes a look to the inside of Putney. Has to chase him back up the top of the racetrack. Hoffman starting to set sail. He's about 4/10 of a second out in front. Watch the 49 of Avila. Putney knows he's back there. Let's see if Putney blocks off the slider. He does. Goes to the middle of the racetrack. Avila to the top. Does Ryan Avila have a run off of 4 here? Right on the back bumper of Putney. Taking a look to the inside. Avila slides up in front of Putney. Putney crosses it back over off of 4. Across the line, it's a white flag. Avila able to power past Spencer Putney on the outside. Hoffman, Avila, Putney, Rogers now to 4th. Those are going to be your transfer cars. Andrew May 1 spot out. Dustin Sargent. And it's going to be Hoffman across the line to take the win here in heat race number 1. Avila 2nd. Putney in 3rd. Matt Rogers will take the last transfer spot to the feature. Then it's Andrew May, Dustin Sargent, Joshua Pickle. Tony Dominguez in 8th. Neville Elf in 9th. Zach Hollinger, Shane Lobos, Randall Fox, and Richie Gaines, our fast timer of the night, back in 13th. We'll have to run the C. All right, heat race number 2 getting lined up out on the speedway. On the pole here for heat race number 2, it is going to be A-Case. AJ, I never know how to pronounce his name, even though I've known him for a little while. So A-Case on the pole. Corey Hetman is outside. Jack Young will start in 3rd. And outside of Jack, it is Tanner Pettit in the number 24, starting in 5th. Bowen Smith. Bowen had a good run last night. Looked to have a podium finish. Got caught up with a lap car there late in the race, and he's going to start here in 5th. Bryce Lucius to his outside, starting in 6th. Jeremy Childers will start in 7th. Robert Satterfield in the 55 will start outside of him in the 8th spot. Back to run number 5. Starting 9th, it's the 24, Jeffrey West, and the 32 of Chris Lynn. All right, one more. As we said earlier, we're going to go around at least one more lap here as we get these manual lineups set. A little different format that you're going to see with most other, definitely not any officials in most other leagues, with this invert in the heat races. And what we'll do, top 2, as we forgot to mention in the first 2 heat races, the top 2 go to the dash. We'll run a dash to determine the first 10 spots on the starting grid. That will also be a random draw, so there'll be another random draw to line up the dash, and the dash will be ran during our warm-up session, so we'll do our best to bring you coverage of that one. So we're going to go around here one more time, get heat race number 2 underway. Case and Etman on the front row. Young, Pettit right there behind him. Pettit won this race. He won the Joker's Wild back in 2024. Only Mason Hannagan's won it twice. Can Pettit be the next driver to take home 2 victories here in the Joker's Wild? He's got to start 4th here in this heat race. He will have the last transfer spot at this on the green flag. Case on the pedal, on the throttle off of turn number 4. It's going to be Case to lead. And here comes Jack Young up to 2nd. Little contact there in the middle of the field. It looked like Pettit up to 3rd. And he is all over the back of Young. Down to the bottom of the racetrack. Right through the middle goes Tanner Pettit. Up to 2nd as he finds his way around Jack Young in the 10. He's got his sights set on Case. Here comes Bowen Smith down on the bottom, top 4. Right behind him, 1 spot out, is Bryce Lucius in the 32. Pettit now to the lead. Gets around Case. Case drops back to 2nd. Young now takes a look to the inside. Case powers off down the back straightaway. Here comes Bowen Smith. Bowen looks underneath of Young for that 3rd spot. Lucius trying to find a way to get... Oh, Lucius and Bowen Smith are going to get together down the front straightaway. First caution flag here of the night is going to involve Bowen Smith, Bryce Lucius, and it looks like Roger Satterfield on the 55 is going to find his way down pit road. We'll take a quick peek at that here as we don't have a whole lot of time between caution flags here on the dirt track. So let's just see if we can see what happened here. They come off at turn number 4. Bowen Smith and made it look underneath Jack Young for 3rd. Lucius with a great run up on the outside of the racetrack as they come off the corner. And it looked like Smith just lost the momentum as he was sliding up the racetrack right there. Lucius had a good run, and they're going to make contact down the front straightaway. Satterfield going to get involved. And it looked like maybe Sheridan got a piece of it as well. So that's going to be our first caution of the night. First caution here in heat race number 1. So out front right now is the 24, Tanner Pettit. We've got, looks like we've got 3 down, 5 to go. Ignored the 3 laps to go up there in the top. Looks like we're going to go green this time around here for heat race number 2. Pettit will set the pace. We're going to go around one more time. Pace truck still on the racetrack. I guess I got a little excited. So they may be giving some time to Lucius and Smith to get some repairs down here. I'm not sure what the time limit is here in the hot pit. We're going to call it the SGR hot pit. SGR sponsoring all the coverage here for the week of the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal, the 9th annual Kings Royal. So we see Lucius and Smith both down on pit road right now. Satterfield also down there getting some repairs. And it looks like, are we going to go green this time? We are. Green flag is in the air. Pettit, Case, Young, Etman now your top 4. That's your transfer cars. Etman with the slide. Going to try to slide up in front of Young. Did not have the space. Had to settle back into 4th. Actually, he's going to lose some spots. He's going to go all the way back to 7th. Pettit out in front. 3 to go across the line. AK's in 2nd. It looks like Young up on the fence. He's going to fall back to 9th. So Pettit out in front by just about a 2nd now. Back to Case in 2nd. West 3rd. Jeremy Childers back to 4th. Adam Buchanan has made his way up into 5th. Etman 1 spot. But it's Buchanan 1 spot out of the feature. Pettit across the line. 1 to go. White flag flies here for Tanner Pettit, looking to pick up a win here in heat race number 2. Put himself in a good spot here in the dash. Case is going to come home with a good finish here in 2nd. West in 3rd. Childers will take the last transfer spot. Buchanan 1 spot out in 5th. Corey Etman in 6th. Kyle DeBurrow in 7th. Jack Young 8th. And Chris Lynn will round out our 9 cars to finish the race. Lucius Satterfield, Bowen Smith, and Michael Sheridan all finished in the pits. So we're going to get on to heat race number 3. All right, 4 more cars looking to punch their ticket into the feature tonight. 5 heat races. The top 4 out of each heat will go to the feature. The top 2 will go to the dash. Here's your starting lineup for heat race number 3 on the pole. The number 8 of Michael Sheridan to his outside. Last year's double down winner Trevor Royer. Chris Sabeskate going to start here in 3rd. Braden Eyler. Braden won the Kings Royal back in 2019. Looking to pick up another victory here during Kings Royal Week. He's going to start in 4th. Ryland Gray back in 5th. Peyton Overmeyer going to start outside of row number 3 and 6. Austin Griffey in 7th. Shane Gallo will start outside of row number 4 in the 8th spot. 9th will be Colton Brewer. And then back in 10th will be William Hobart. And it looks like we might have missed a couple of spots here the last couple of races, because back here in the 11th is John Clements Jr., Nick Downs, and Michael Scurrying. We'll round out our 13-car field here in heat race number 3. All right, looking down. It's a beautiful day here at Eldora. The sun will set before we get to the feature. The features will be ran in the dark, but we're daylight here for the heat races, and the track is drying out quickly. Look for the top of the racetrack to be dominant later on. But right now, we've seen the middle of the racetrack work a little bit. Top's still the place you want to be, but we've seen some drivers able to pull off the slide job, and that's exactly what you're going to see. Most of the passes tonight are going to be at the courtesy of the slider. We did see a couple drivers find the bottom of the racetrack last night. Let's see if that comes in a little bit later. All right, Pace Shark will pull in. We'll go around 1 more lap. Sheridan and Royer on the front row. Braden Eyler, Chris Sabeskate right there behind him. Watch the 5 of Eyler. "13 cars looking for 4 spots. Heat race number 3 getting ready to get underway. Sheridan, Royer. Off a turn number 4, green flag in the air for heat race number 3, and it's Michael Sheridan will lead into 1. Sabeskate on the bottom of the racetrack. Sabeskate is going to try to slide up in front. He's not going to be able to make the move. Loses some momentum. Here comes Eyler to the bottom. Eyler underneath the Royer for 2nd. Oh, contact between Eyler and Royer. Royer gets sideways. Does not go completely around. We're going to say green flag in the air. It looked like Eyler was going to make a big move on the bottom of the racetrack, make some contact with Royer. Royer goes around. He is all the way back. That was Sabeskate. I'm sorry, Sabeskate back to 7th. Royer is up to 2nd. Ryland Gray to 3rd. Eyler now to 4th in the final transfer spot. We've got a caution on the speedway, and it looks like Michael Scurrying in the 7 involved here. I don't see a lot of damage there on the 7. So we'll take a look here real quick and see what happens here on the SGR replay. So single car incident here. Michael falling a little off the pace here. Gets into 1 and 2 and just going to lose the back of the car here a little bit, it looks like. Yeah, he's going to spin it around off of 2, down on the bottom, down there in the black. Kind of keeps it going there. I'm surprised they threw the caution for that one. All right, get back to live action here. Sheridan up front, Royer in second, Ryland Gray third, Braden Eyler in the final transfer spot. Little contact between Eyler and Sabeskay. Sabeskay back to 7, trying to get himself back up into the top 4. Griffey in 5th. Colton Brewer in 6th. All right, more action coming your way this week. Tomorrow night, we're back here for night number 3 of the Kings Royal. The night before the Kings Royal, tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern. Also tomorrow night on the channel, we've got the Smoking Thunder ARCA series will come your way tomorrow night. And also tomorrow night, we're going to have the Western Racing League will probably come on tomorrow night at about 11:30 Eastern tomorrow night. So more action coming your way. Don't hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell up there. Get notified whenever we go live. You don't want to miss any action coming your way this week here on DRSN. The green flag in the air again here on heat race number 3. Sheridan with about a 5-car jump into turn number 1. Royer, Gray, Eyler. Eyler now up to 4th. A little behind him right there is Austin Griffey. And it looks like Klimowicz Jr. with some problems. We got a car upside down on the back straightaway. It's the 34 Klimowicz. Caution out again for the second time. And it looks like Gallo going to get involved in this one. Also, Chris Sabeskay with some damage. He's going to stay out on the speedway. But it looked like it started out somewhere in the middle of the pack right there. We'll take a quick look at it here with the SGR replay. So it looks like Klimowicz. So it looks like it might start up a little bit in front of us here. And it was contact with Sabeskay. I'm not quite sure who that is, but Klimowicz and Gallo going to get wrapped up in it. I think that might have been Brewer. That was Colton Brewer. So Sabeskay and Brewer get together. That's going to be the start of this caution. All right, back to live action. We've got 3 down, 5 to go. Top 4 to the feature, top 2 to the dash. Michael Sheridan looking to secure himself a spot in the dash. Royer right there with him, Ryland Gray and Braden Eyler. Griffey still 1 spot out. We jump on board here with the 5 of Braden Eyler. We should be going green this time by. Paystrike pulls in. Sheridan on the loud pedal. Royer with a good jump's going to stay right there with him. Only a few car lengths distance. 4 down, 4 to go here. We're halfway through this. Sheridan out in front. Here comes Gray. Gray takes a look to the inside of Royer. A big slide in 3 and 4. He throws a haymaker. Gray crosses back under. Down the front straightaway. Royer's got position. He'll slide up back up into second. Gray cuts back to the bottom off of 2. Down the back straightaway, Royer and Gray going at it. It looks like we got another caution on the racetrack. It looks like it might be Colton Brewer. Top wing gone off the 71 or the 77. Caution again here for the 3rd time in heat race number 3. We were just shaping up to have a fantastic race there for a second. It looked like Eyler was going to sneak in there and throw his hat in the ring too. Royer and Gray just throwing haymakers at each other. So still, Sheridan and Royer now your top 2 going to the dash. Gray and Eyler, the last 2 transfer cars, and it's Michael Sheridan back there 1 spot out. So Michael Sheridan started in 13th up to 5th. Scurrying, sorry, I was corrected on that earlier. Michael Scurrying up 8 spots out of Pella, Iowa. He's got 1 more spot. And he has got the fast number 5 of Braden Eyler right there in front of him. That is not going to be an easy car to get around to get into the final transfer spot. Gonna go around one more time. That is not the last lap. We should just turn that off here. So if you were with us last night, we kind of talked about it a little bit. iRacing just doesn't like dirt tracks, so they some of the data for some of our overlays, and it just doesn't really, it counts the laps under caution, so it's a little bit got to make some adjustments for it. So we got Colton Brewer, and looks like Safe coming out of the pits. It looks like Nick Downs in the 47 also going to make his way out of the pits. All right, Sheridan Royer, that's your top two. Gray and Eyler. Green flag in the air once again here in heat race number 3. Sheridan with a big jump into 1. Royer, it's a single line on the outside. Here comes Royer, Gray, and Eyler. They've got a run on Sheridan. Big jump there for a big slide from Royer. Or Gray, he makes it up in a second. Royer crosses back over, nowhere to go. Eyler looked to make it 3 wide. He's able to slide up in front of Grayler. We got a battle going on here for second. Royer's got it. Here comes Gray on the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to complete the slide up into second. Royer's going to pass, drag race to the finish line. Royer tried to cross him back over, did not able to make the pass. And as a matter of fact, Braden Eyler was able to get up underneath Trevor Royer there for third. So your top 4 is going to be Sheridan, Gray, Eyler, and Royer. Will go to the feature. Michael Scurrying 1 spot out there in 5th. All right, on to heat race number 4. Let's see if they can beat that excitement of heat race number 3. We got 2 more heat races to go, and then we will get on to our main events. Here's your starting lineup for heat race number 4. On the pole, Johnny Vaughn Jr. To his outside, starting in second, it's the 83, Greg Robinson. Anthony Villagren will start in third. Last night's winner of one of the double down features, Bryce Heinstein will start in fourth. Jay Schaaf in fifth. Aiden Stoll, the other winner from last night, will start in sixth. Jeremy Zarfos will start inside row number 4 in the 7th spot. Joseph Groom will start to his outside there in 8th, get back to the 5th row. Starting in 9th, it's David Baker. And Chris Schaefer will round out our 10-car field. And if that's actually not our 10-car field, because we got more cars out here on the racetrack. In 11th, J.P. Smith, and rounding out the field, the number 91 of Stephen Hassett. I got used to those 10-car heat races last night. All right, we're going to go around at least another lap and a half. If you're looking to get some broadcast coverage for any of your league special events, we can cover just about anything from mini stocks to endurance races to dirt track races to NASCAR, whatever you got thrown our way. If you're looking to get some coverage for your league, reach out to us, send us a message on the YouTube here on the chat, or reach out to us on the Facebook. You'll find our Facebook page at DRSN. But right now, we're going to run heat race number 4. 4 more drivers looking to make their way into the show tonight. Johnny Vaughn Jr., Greg Robinson on the front row. Eight more laps of action here. Top 2 to the dash, top 4 to the feature. 5th through 8th to the B, 9th through 12th to go to the C. Green flag in the air. One more time in heat race number 4. Schaaf with a big slide. He's going to try to get around Vaughn. Vaughn fights back up on the outside. Villagren now underneath Schaaf for second. Villagren looking to get by 2. He's going to do it, but here comes Vaughn back to the... Cuts him under off of 4. Schaaf and Villagren made a little bit of contact. A little further back, it's Bryce Heinstein and Greg Robinson, but up front right now it's Vaughn. And we got caution on the speedway. Not sure who that was. It might have been Groom. So caution here for the first time in heat race number 4. So we got a few cautions here tonight in the heat races, and it looks like Groom is going to limp down off the pit. So let's see if our replay will show it here. Watch Joseph Groom on the outside of the racetrack. 3 wide down the front straightaway. Looks like he's going to have a little contact there, getting into one. And Groom's going to go for a ride. Starts flipping in turn number 1 all the way halfway through the corner. So Joseph Groom is going to bring out the first caution here in heat race number 4. All right, Johnny Vaughn Jr. started on the pole. He's led the first couple of laps. Villagren and Schaaf. Right there behind him. Heinstein now to 4th. Robinson 5th. Zarfos in 6th. Aiden Stoll back there in 7th. JP Smith, David Baker, Stephen Hassett, Chris Schaefer. That's your top 11. Looks like Groom still getting some repairs down on pit road. He's able to make it back on the racetrack. So we've got all 12 cars that started this race still on the racetrack. 3 laps down. Or 2 down. All right, we're going to go green this time around. Right now it's Vaughn and Villagren put themselves into the dash. Vaughn brings us around, green flag in the air. Schaaf with another big move. He is going to pull the slider off into 1 and 2. He is going to get by Villagren and Vaughn. He's going to have the lead into 3. He's going to go down and block off the slider halfway down the racetrack up against the cushion. Schaaf with a big move goes from 3rd to 1st here on the restart. Villagren now is looking to get away on Schaaf. He goes to 3rd. Heinstein now is going to come up on the outside. Villagren lost a lot of momentum on the racetrack. That let Heinstein get around, and here comes Aiden Stoll. Aiden Stoll looking to get himself into a transfer spot. Vaughn now to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to take the lead away from Schaaf. Schaaf cuts him back over off of 2. Little contact right there. Here comes Stoll and Heinstein into 3. Stoll on the bottom of the racetrack. Schaaf on the top. Heinstein right there behind him. And around goes Heinstein. Heinstein's going to spin around off of turn number 2. Stoll will have the lead. We're going to stay going green here. Do not see a caution flag coming out. Stoll's made his way to the lead. Schaaf now in 2nd. Villagren 3rd. Johnny Vaughn back there in 4th. So Heinstein spun around off of turn number 2 after taking the lead. He is now out of a transfer spot back in 8th. Meantime, Aiden Stoll has found his way to the point here in heat race number 4. Anthony Villagren in 2nd. Last lap across the line. It's going to be Aiden Stoll, one of the winners last night. Villagren will come home in 2nd. He'll put himself into the dash. Schaaf makes a little contact to the outside wall. He's going to hang on to 3rd. Vaughn and Zarfos get together at the line. Vaughn's going to hang on to 4th. Zarfos back to 5th. JP Smith 6th. Greg Robinson in 7th. David Baker in 8th. That is going to round out heat race number 4. On to, actually, it looks like, okay, well, we only had 4 cars, so it looks like we might have transferred 5 out of those heats. So a little miscommunication there from race control, because we are now on to the C main. So 10 laps here in the C main. So we just ran 4 laps. I thought we were going on to heat race number 5, but we're going to go to the C. Let's see if we can get our starting lineup here. For 10 laps of action, 4 drivers will make their way on. 4 drivers will put themselves into the B. Can anybody run through the soup tonight? All right, starting lineup here for the 10-lap C main. The 32 of Chris Lynn will start on the pole. To his outside, it's the 77 of Colton Brewer. Inside of row number 2, starting in 3rd, it's last night's winner Bryce Heinstein, and Zach Hollinger will start in 4th. Robert Satterfield in 5th. John Klimowitz Jr. will start outside the 3rd row in 6th. Back to row number 4. It is Stephen Hassett in the 91. Starting in 8th, it's Shane Lobos. Bryce Lucius will find himself starting in 9th. Shane Gallo in 10th. Back to row number 6, starting in 11th spot, it's Chris Schaefer. And starting in 12th, to his outside, it's Randall Fox. In the 13th starting spot, it's the 12 of Bowen Smith. And in 14th, it's the 47 of Nick Downs. Back to row number Row number 8, starting 15th is Joseph Groom, and your pole sitter, not your fast timer, Richie Gaines, the third, will start in 16th. In 17th, back in our 9th and final row, it is Michael Sheridan and Peyton Overmeyer. All right, 10 laps of action here for the C main. 4 drivers will make their way to the B. And Heinstein run his way through the soup. We're going to run one more time. No, we're going to go green. Green flag in the air. Chris Lynn. Bryce Heinstein's going to go from 4th to 2nd. Kind of a sloppy start right there. Brewer to 3rd. Up on the outside. Satterfield now to 4th. He's got the final transfer spot. Hassett now up to 5th. Heinstein up on the outside on the cushion. He's going to go to the point. Chris Lynn to 2nd. Side by side for 3rd is Brewer and Satterfield. Stephen Hassett 1 spot out, back in 5th. Eight laps left to go. Bryce Heinstein. Colton Brewer is going to make a move up into 2nd. He is going to get by Chris Lynn for that 2nd spot. Lynn back to 3rd. Satterfield to 4th. Lucius now is up to 5th. Lucius looking to punch his way to the B main. Up on the outside of Chris Lynn. Makes it look easy. Bryce Lucius now to 4th. Bowman Smith also moving up through the field. He's now up to 7th after starting back in 13th. We got caution on the speedway for the first time, and it looks like it might be Zach Hollinger. So caution on the racetrack here. 4 laps in, 6 laps left to go here in the C main. Here for the Jokers Wild. See if we can see what happened to Zach. He's up on the outside by himself. It looks like Gallo up there in front of him in the 21. Contact right there. It looks like a little net code. I'm not sure. Oh, there's the second contact right there. So Hollinger looked like a little bit of net code there at first as he started to spin around, and then contact there the second time. So Hollinger's going to tip upside down into one, kind of a Tommy tip over. And we're going to have ourselves our first caution in the C main. All right, Bryce Heinstein looking to make his way back up into the feature. He picked up the win in main event number 1 last night. Colton Brewer in 2nd. Robert Satterfield. Bryce Lucius has moved his way up 5 spots. Started back in 9th. He's up to 4th. He's got the final transfer spot right now. Chris Lynn back in 5th. All right, next time by, we will go green flag. We've got 4 down, 6 laps to go. Biggest mover of the race right now is Bowen Smith. Bowen started back in 13th. He's all the way up to 6th. Green flag in the air once again. Heinstein brings us to the line. Down in turn number 1. He's got about 4 car length advantage over Brewer. Satterfield now to 3rd. Lucius takes a look underneath Satterfield down the back straightaway. He's got to run into 3, but he's going to go right down to the bottom of the racetrack. I thought he might try to slide up in front of Satterfield, but no, he's going to try the bottom. Going to hang on to 4th. Behind him, Smith now up to 5th. Bowman Smith 1 spot out. Chris Lynn and Richie Gaines. Here comes Richie Gaines. He had fast time of the night. He is now up to 6th. Your battle for the lead, Heinstein. Lucius now to the outside of Satterfield for 3rd. Satterfield tries to slide up in front of him, not going to be able to pull it off. Here comes Bowen now. Bowen cuts underneath Satterfield down the back straightaway. Satterfield loses 3 spots in a matter of about 100 feet on the racetrack. Heinstein out in front. Brewer is 2nd. Lucius now up to 3rd. And here comes Richie Gaines. Richie Gaines in a battle for Bowen Smith. They're going to get together coming off the corner right there. Gaines tried to slide up in front of the 12. They make contact. Bowen Smith is going to pay for it. The 12 still sitting up against the fence. So Richie Gaines and Bowen Smith battling it out for the final transfer spot. Going to make contact there off the corner. Let's take a quick look at that here. Watch Gaines on the bottom of the racetrack down the back straightaway. He is looking to make the pass on Bowen Smith going into 3 and 4. Bowen way up on the top of the racetrack. Gaines tries to pull off the slide. Does not have the momentum. Going to get up and make some contact with the 12. They get together during coming off of turn number 4. Bowen Smith into the outside wall. Gaines Going to drive away and hang on to third. It looks like Richie Gaines is going to get an EOL here. It looks like he may be sent to the back. Richie Gaines going to go down to 12th. Let's see if they give Bowen his spot back, or does Bowen have to... So Bowen's still sitting out here on the racetrack. Let's take a look here at live time. He may be down on pit road trying to get some repairs. Einstein with the lead. Brewer in second. Lucius third. Satterfield now to fourth. Chris Lynn in fifth. Klimowitz up to sixth. Shane Gallo started back in 10th. He's up to seventh. All right, I'm showing 2 laps left to go when we go back. Green flag. Basically a green-white checkered at this point. Well, thank you so much for spending your evening here with us. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Give us a like, hit the bell. You won't want to miss any more action coming your way this week. We're not even halfway through it. Brian Einstein brings us to the line. Green flag out once again here in the C main. Brewer to second. Lucius in third. Looking to improve his starting spot in the B main. Satterfield to fourth. Chris Lynn right there behind him. Lucius to the bottom. Tries to slide up in contact between Lucius and Brewer. They're going to get together off of turn number 4. And Lucius is going to tumble down the front straightaway. And I think we're going to stay green flag, white flag in the air. Einstein off of turn number 4, bring him the win. Satterfield going to get the second transfer spot. Chris Lynn in third. And Klimowitz Jr.'s drag race with Hassett. And Klimowitz is going to take the final transfer spot. Looks like Gaines was not happy with something there in that race, as he is going to show his frustration at the end of that one. But right now, Einstein will bring home the win. We'll go on to the B main. And there's your C main results. Bryce Einstein with the victory. Robert Satterfield in second. Chris Lynn third. Tom Klimowitz Jr. in fourth. Stephen Hassett. Shane Gallo. Chris Schaefer. Richie Gaines in eighth. Shane Lobos. Nick Downs. Bryce Lucius. Colton Brewer. Joseph Groom. Bowen Smith. Zach Hollinger. Randall Fox. Michael Sheridan. Peyton Overmar round out our top 20. We're going to get right to our lineup here for the B main. 12 laps of action. On the pole, the 31 of Andrew May. To his outside, Adam Buchanan. Starting in third, it's Michael Skirring. Jeremy Zarfoss will start in fourth. 4 more cars will transfer on. Dustin Sargent in fifth. Corey Ettman in sixth. Austin Griffey will start inside row number 4 in seventh. JP Smith to his outside in eighth. Back to the fifth row, it's Joshua Pickle. Will start ninth. Kyle DeBurrow will start outside of row number 5 in 10th. William Hobart in 11th. Greg Robinson will start in 12th. Row number 7 is Tony Dominguez in 13th. Jack Young in the 10 will start in the 14th spot. Chris Sabeskay will start way back here in 15th. David Baker 16th. Neville Ulf will start in the 17th spot. And then there's your C-main winner of Bryce Einstein in the 18th spot. Robert Satterfield in 19th. Chris Lynn in 20th. And then John Klimowitz Jr. will round out our 21-car field here for the B main. So I think maybe we have somebody that maybe didn't start. We should have, I believe we should have 22. All right, 21 cars will start. 4 cars will go on to the feature. We'll run this B main 12 laps, and then we'll run our dash. So May and Buchanan on the front row. Next time by, green flag will fly. 12 laps of action here for the B main. 4 more drivers looking to make their way to the show. Well, we have a repeat winner of the Joker's Wild tonight, or somebody else punched their ticket through. Mason Hannagan, the only driver to win 2 of them. Off of turn number 4, green flag in the air. Andrew May scurrying with a good jump there on the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to get his way up in a second. We're 3 wide. Little contact there with Edmond, and it looked like Pickle. Contact off of 2. We got cars upside down. It looks like the 10 of Jack Young on his roof. Looks like it started somewhere in the middle. I saw Pickle involved right there. We'll see if we can get a quick look at it here. So here on lap number 1, let's keep an eye on the 33. I think it started somewhere around... Actually, it started, I think it was the 51 of Edmund. Gets loose getting into 1. Pickle gets into his left for a quarter. That's going to send Edmund down the racetrack. And as Pickle trying to get gathered back up over the right rear comes Jack Young. Does a little twist there up against the fence. So Jack Young upside down here on lap number 1 of the B main. All right, so we did not get a lap in. So caution on the speedway. Andrew May. Adam Buchanan will restart up front. Don't forget tomorrow night, back here at 9 o'clock Eastern for night number 3 of the Kings Royal with Dirty Old Bastards, brought to you by Steinman Gallo Racing. As we see some of our drivers making their way off of pit road, Corey Edmond coming out after some repairs. It looks like that Jack Young, or is that the 73 of JP Smith? So JP Smith's going to find his way out on the racetrack. I think Jack might be done for the night. Green flag in the air. Andrew May, single file restart here. A big jump there, about 0.6 of a second to 1. Big shaking out there for second. It looks like Buchanan up into second. Pickle now into the battle here. My timing and scoring is a little messed up. 3 wide air off of 4. May, Buchanan, and it looks like Griffey now. Here comes Scurry on the outside. Scurry now up to third. He finds his way around Griffey. Scurry now is going to take a look underneath Buchanan for second. Going to slide him up through the middle of 3 and 4. He has the momentum. He will carry it down into 1 and 2. Here comes Buchanan back to the bottom. Does not have the momentum to slide up in front of Scurry. Matter of fact, he is going to lose third. There goes Griffey. Here comes Dustin Big Money Sargent. He's going to take that final transfer part. Sargent up to 5th. Buchanan back to... And here comes Heinstein. Heinstein started back in 18th. He's already up to 6th, and we got caution on the speedway once again. The 51 of Corey Edmond around, and it looks like that might have been Chris Savesky. Chris Savesky not having the night he would like. The 21 involved in our second caution here in the B main. See if we can see what happened here with this one. So Savesky here on the outside. Let's see where Edmond comes down to the bottom of the racetrack. And let's see where we are. Oh, crashing up there in front of him. Hobart goes around off the nose. It looked like it might have been Baker. I'm not quite sure. And then Savesky and Edmond are going to get together, just trying to avoid the other 2 cars on the front straightaway. So caution out for the second time here in our B main. All right, Andrew May is led pretty much from the drop of the green flag here. We're going to go around one more time. As it looks like we got 4 down, 8 to go. All right, green flag. Off at turn number 4, Andrew May, Michael Scurry, Austin Griffey, Dustin Sargent. That's your transfer cars. And it's Buchanan, Zarfos, Heinstein. Watch the 84. Trying to get himself up into the top 4. He wants to get into the B. We got 8 laps left. Andrew May brings us to the line. Green flag out once again. And everybody disappeared for a second. So, Andrew May with the lead. Scurrying there to second. Scurrying takes a look off the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Griffey on the outside. Griffey taking a look to the outside. Here comes Heinstein with a big move. Contact right there. It looked like Buchanan going upside down. Contact there off at turn number 2. We're under the caution now for the 3rd time. Caution number 3 here in the B main. Looks like we have 7 down, 5 to go. Andrew May still in front. That looked like that might have been contact with... Let's take a look at it here real quick before I make any guesses. We take a look here at the 44 of Buchanan. Off at turn number 2. Behind him is the 19 of Zarfoss. Heidenstein way down on the bottom of the racetrack. Tries to clear both of them. Contact with Heidenstein and Buchanan's going to put Buchanan upside down. A little more punishing shot there for Buchanan. So Heidenstein looks to be given an EOL for that. He is going to the back. 6 down, 6 to go. Race control decided they're going to put that on Bryce Heidenstein, so he is going to the back of the longest line here. Back to live action. Still Andrew May out in front. Your transfer cars. May, Skirring, Griffey, Sargent. 1 car out. Jeremy Zarfoss. Tony Dominguez is up 7 spots. Greg Robinson now up to 7th. Satterfield's started back in 19th. He's all the way up to 8th. So Satterfield, our first car that came out of the sea. Alright, Paceback once again has moved off the racetrack. Andrew May. Green flag in the air once again here in the B main. 5 laps left to go. May and Skirring right there with him. Here comes Griffey. Sargent takes a look down to the inside. Zarfoss is going to find a way around Dominguez. Zarfoss sets his sail for Sargent. That last transfer spot. Watch the 19. Across the line, 4 to go. 8 down, 4 to go. May starting to drive away here a little bit. He's got Skirring, Griffey, and Sargent battling out for 2nd. And it's Jeremy Zarfoss a little further back. Watch the 84 of Heidenstein. He's back here in 14th, trying to make up some ground after getting sent to the back. Going to make some contact there. It looked like that might have been Ulf. Neville Ulf going around. And if we get up to the front, May contact. I'm not sure who that was. That a lap car, but May. That was Skirring. So Skirring had looked to the outside of May for the lead right there as we were looking at the back of the field. So Skirring going to go around upside down and lose the wing off the top of the car. So here we are down the back straightaway on the replay here. Skirring up on the top, May on the bottom. May led most of this race. May tries to slide up in front of Skirring, take the spot back, and man, that was like, was that? Let me just rewind that just a little bit. That looked like, I mean, May was definitely sliding up the racetrack, but at the same time, man, that looked like some serious net code there. Let's see here, they make contact. I didn't even really see any contact. They'll be right on board with Skirring. He's upside down in 3 and 4. It looks like he could tumble back over on his wheels. So it looked like either some real contact or iRacing netcode contact there, but either way, May gets together, and it looks like race control is going to send May to the back. He's down to 13. So Andrew May going to be our latest driver penalized here for contact. He is going to go back to 14th. That's going to put Austin Griffey out front. Dustin Sargent now to 2nd. Zarfoss to 3rd. Dominguez to 4th. Robinson still 1 spot out in 5th. Pickle in the 6th spot. Satterfield 7th. Chris Lynn in 8th. JP Smith and Neville Ulf round out our top 10. Then it's Heidenstein back in 11th. Heidenstein and Kyle DeBurrow 12th. William Hobart 13th. Andrew May now back in 14th. The last car on the lead lap. I'm showing 3 laps to go. Griffey's going to pick up the throttle a little bit early. He's going to take the lead down into 1. Look a little further back. Here comes Robinson. Robinson looking to get around Dominguez for the final transfer spot. Caution in the air once again. And it looks like Bryce Heidenstein upside down in turn number 2. I think something else happened in front of that before he ended up on his lid. So here's Heidenstein on the outside of the racetrack. Contact with a 51. Bryce had taken a look to the outside. Not sure who that was in that car, but he's going to make some... Did not see Bryce sticking his nose on the outside of the racetrack. Slid up, caught the left front, and Bryce takes a big ride through 1 and 2 all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. Trying to figure out who that is there in the white car right there in front of May on the racetrack. All right. Under caution again, we've got 3 to go. We're trying to get this B main wrapped up. We get onto our dash and then on to the feature. Going to go around one more time. Dustin Sargent will bring us to the stripe. I believe we're going to have 2 to go when we come across the line. Sargent now to the lead. Zarfos second. Griffey and Dominguez. And once again, Greg Robinson just 1 spot. But look at this 33 of Pickles. Made his way back up to 6th. All right, off turn number 4, we're going to go back to green. Sargent's found his way to the point. He'll bring us to the line. Green flag in air once again for heat race number, or excuse me, for the B main. Side by side, Robinson takes a look to the bottom of Dominguez. That looks like Satterfield with a little contact. He is going to go around upside down. We got more cars piling in off of turn number 2, but we're going to stay green flag. Last lap, white flag in the air for Sargent. Zarfos, Griffey, Dominguez. Pickle looking to get into the transfer spot. He's back to 6th. It looks like Dominguez is going to hang on to 4th. Sargent's going to come off in turn number 4. Across the line, it'll be Dustin Sargent, Jeremy Zarfos, Austin Griffey, Tony Dominguez, Chris Robinson, Joshua Pickle. That'll round out your top 6. Chris Lynn, Michael Scurrying, Andrew May, David Baker, William Hobart, Neville Ulf, JP Smith, Kyle DeBurrow. The 14 cars to finish this race on the lead lap. That is going to wrap up our B main. Sargent, Zarfos, Griffey, and Dominguez all going to the show. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go to warm-up session. And during this warm-up session, they're going to line up our 10 dash cars. So we're going to do our best to call this for you, but it's none of our timing and scoring works during this because it is during a warm-up session. They're just going to line them up manually on the racetrack. We're going to see if we can figure out who's out there and where they are. So right now, race control calling drivers to the staging. It looks like I see a few drivers down on pit road. That may have been some remaining cars from the B. So let's just take a quick look here at our results of the B main. Dustin Big Money Sargent bringing home the victory. Jeremy Zarfos second. Austin Griffey third. Tony Dominguez, our 4 transfer cars to the A main. And it's Greg Robinson, Joshua Pickle, Chris Lynn, Michael Scurrying, Andrew May, David Baker. That's your top 10. Then William Hobart back in 11th. Neville Ulf, 12th. JP Smith in 13th. Kyle DeBurrow, 14th. Adam Buchanan, 15th. Robert Satterfield back in the 16th spot. Bryce Heinstein back in 17th. John Klimwich Jr., 18th. Chris Sabeskay, Corey Evan round out our top 20. And then Jack Young will be our 21st finisher there in the B main. And we're going to go right on to our dash here once race control gets some drivers out onto the racetrack. So we'll take just a quick little break here while they're doing that. We'll be right back. All right. Getting ready for our 10-car dash to line up the first 10 rows of the feature. So it pretty much throws some of our graphics and overlays out the window for this as we get to a manual lineup here for the dash, and then we'll get a manual lineup for the feature event. So it looks like we see Tanner Pettit down on pit road right now. Let's see if we can find Tanner. So this is going to be, until the race gets going here, it's going to get a little challenging. The 24 Tanner Pettit's made his way down to pit road. little different paint scheme for Tanner tonight. Took some of the TPR numbers or graphics off the car, just kind of a plain black number 24. All right, let's see if race control has anything for us. It looks like they're still doing the random draw. Gonna find a way. Maybe tomorrow night we can find a way to get this broadcasted live on the broadcast. So here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna step away for just a minute. We'll start to get cars lined up on the speedway. So we're gonna be right back in about 3 minutes. Getting ready to run our, I believe it's a six lap dash for the top 10 starting spots here in the feature for the Joker's Wild, night number 2 of the Dirty Old Bastards Nights. We'll be right back in just a minute. All right, so it looks like we got drivers making their way out onto the speedway. We see Rylan Gray in the 06, A-Case in the 1, Villigren in the 22. Let's see how they line up here. It's looking like it's going to be Ryan Avila on the pole. The 24 pitted to his outside, Hoffman right there behind him. Case outside of row number 2, Rylan Gray and Michael Sheridan. And it looks like Aiden Stoll. And green flag is going to fly. Avila with a huge jump. He is going to take the lead into 1. Pettit kind of glitches off the screen right there. Avila way out in front. Hoffman to the top of the racetrack. He is going to clear Pettit for second. It's TPR 1, 2, 3. A little further back, it looks like Aiden Stoll. Aiden Stoll in 4th. Sheridan to 5th. Avila out in front here in the dash. He's looking to start on the pole for the 30-lap feature of the Joker's Wild. Hoffman to 2nd. Pettit still in 3rd. Here comes Stoll now. Stoll's going to look to the inside of Pettit. No, he's going to tuck in behind off of turn number 4 across the stripe. I have no idea how many laps are left. It's going to finish when it finishes. Hoffman with a little mistake there off of turn number 2 is going to go down to the bottom of the racetrack. That's going to let Pettit get by him on the outside. Hoffman able to slide up in front of Pettit, but Pettit crosses him over off of turn number 4 into 1 and 2. Pettit's going to hang on to the middle of the racetrack. That's going to let Hoffman drive by him on the outside. Here comes Stoll. Stoll now to the outside of Pettit. They make a little contact. That puts Pettit back to 3rd. Out in front, driving away, it is Ryan Avila. Kenny Hoffman 2nd, Tanner Pettit. And it looks like Stoll now. Stoll still hanging on to 4th. He's reeled Pettit back in here. A little further back, and that looks like that's going to be the finish. So it's going to be Ryan Avila, Kenny Hoffman, Tanner Pettit, Aiden Stoll. That's your top 4. And from there on back, it looks like it might have been Michael Sheridan, Anthony Villigren, Rylan Gray. And it looked like maybe Eyler and Schaaf back here. Look like a few drivers are going to make their way out on here for warm-ups. They're going to have a few minutes of warm-ups for the drivers that did not run in the dash, so we'll see some drivers out here on the speedway. See a bunch of drivers making their way out, so that's going to put Ryan Avila on the front row. And Ryan has not picked up one of these wins during Kings Royal Week. Looking to pick up his first win here tonight in the Joker's Wild. Last year's winner, Logan Rumsey, not with us. Tanner Pettit won last year. The 2 years before that was Mason Hannagan. So we're going to go ahead and step away for just a minute while they're going to run a few warm-up laps. We're going to come back with 30 laps of racing action here for the Joker's Wild, and it looks like they're going to just jump forward right now. So we're going to go ahead and actually we're going to go ahead and stay here because we're going to get cars lining up on the grid. All right, drivers lining up out on the racetrack. We take a look here at Aiden Stull. Aiden Stull will start in fourth. So iRacing is going to line up. We're going to have to do at least one lap around to get the drivers in the proper positions. All right. We know Ryan Avila is going to start on the front row. Kenny Hoffman to his outside. As we can see Ryan making his way up to the point. We're going to bring up our grid, but we'll have to fake our way through it here. All right, so it's going to be Avila, Pettit. Avila, Hoffman, Pettit. And then Stull. That's going to be your first four. I know that for sure. And then the back behind him, it looks like it's going to be Rylan Gray, Anthony Villagran, Michael Sheridan, A-Case will start in 8th. Spencer Putney in 9th. His outside is going to be Jeffrey West, so we can get back to our kind of our normal lineup here now at this point. Back in 11th, Braden Eyler will start inside of row number 6. Jay Schaaf in 12th. Matt Rogers, 13th. Jeremy Childers, 14th. Trevor Royer and Johnny Vaughn will occupy row number 8. Back to row number 9, Dustin Sargent, your B-main winner. Jeremy Zarfos, Austin Griffey, Tony Dominguez. Greg Robinson will start in 21st. 22nd will be Joshua Pickle. Chris Lynn will start in 23rd. Michael Scurring will round out our 24-car field. So we actually transferred 8 out of the B because we only ran 4 heat races. So we're going to get a little better communication with race control through the rest of the week to make sure we are bringing you the proper information. But we actually transferred 8 out of the B because we only ran 4, so they took 4 out of each heat. We got 24 cars out here on the racetrack. Fireworks going off. We're going to go 30 laps of racing action, 35 laps of green flag competition here at Eldora for the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Wild night number 2, the Joker's Wild 30-lap feature. Avila, Hoffman, Pettit, Stull. That's your top 4. Off of turn number 4, the 49 of Avila fires it off. We are green flag here for 30 laps. Avila, Pettit now makes his way to 2nd. Gray up to 3rd. Hoffman falls back to 4th. We're side by side. Off of 2, 3 wide throughout the field. Avila already going to get away by about 4 car lengths to Pettit. Pettit now back to 2nd. Hoffman back to 3rd after starting outside the front row. Stull right there with him in 4th. Here comes Villagran in 5th. Gray now to 6th. Schaaf, take a look here at Schaaf. This is the battle back here for 12th and 13th. Eyler up to 12th. Avila is setting sail. He has got that car up on the cushion on a rail. Ryan Avila, half a second out in front of Tanner Pettit. We look here at Kenny Hoffman. Hoffman down to 4th. Stull all over the back bumper of the 24. We ride on board here with Aiden Stull in 3rd. And you can see him slicing and dicing. He is all over the top of that wheel. Elbows up, right up on the cushion. That's where you got to be here. Door off at turn number 4. Stull to 3rd. Little contact and Pettit into the outside wall. Is going to come down across. Just about collects Stull. Aiden Stull able to get underneath Pettit. Pettit with a little mistake there off of 2. That is going to hand the 2nd spot over to Aiden Stull. Pettit back to the bottom. And we got caution in the air. Caution for the first time. Tony Dominguez. It looks like Dominguez with an issue. Caution on the speedway here on lap number 6. Watch Dominguez. He's down there on the bottom of the racetrack. The white and blue car there in the middle. He's got the 37 to his inside. They're going to make their way down to 1 and 2, and it looks like Dominguez is going to slide up the racetrack, get into Pickle. So Pickle had established the outside line. Dominguez is going to get up into the 33, and around goes the 18 to Dominguez. And I didn't have my car sounds on. All right. Avila now out in front, 6 laps down. Or excuse me, 5 down, 25 to go. Pettit and Stull. I'm going to run one more time. So it looks like a few drivers are going to take this opportunity to get down pit road to get some repairs. We see Jay Schaaf, Joshua Pickle, Jeremy Childers, and Dustin Sargent all down in the hot pit, the SGR hot pit tonight, getting some repairs done. 2x2. We're going to have a side-by-side restart here. Pettit was able to get second back from Stoll. We had not completed a lap, so it'll be Avila, Pettit, Stoll, and Hoffman, your top four. All right, green flag flies once again here on the Joker's Wild. Avila, Pettit, Stoll with a big move to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to get around Pettit. He's going to try to slide up in front of Avila. Not going to make it happen. He's going to stay down on the bottom. He slide up the racetrack, and it looks like he's going to make a little contact there with Hoffman. Hoffman got into the back bumper of the 7. Here comes Gray now. Gray with a big slider. He crosses over, but here comes Stoll. Stoll crosses him over. Now Stoll's going to look to the inside of Hoffman into 1. Caution once again. Just as we're getting wound up, and it looks like it might be the 5 of Eyler, Braden Eyler, with a problem. So we had a few other drivers involved in this one as well. We were 5 wide as we were watching that battle up front. Here comes Eyler way up on the top of the racetrack, coming up on the outside of the 26 of Rogers. And they're going to get together down the back straightaway. I don't think Rogers saw Eyler coming up on the outside. And the 26, the 5 is going to go upside down. Is going to make some more contact. Here comes the 18 of Dominguez, also going to get involved in this one. Eyler takes a big ride through 3 and 4. We'll see if Braden's able to make his way back out onto the speedway. Caution out here once again, 7 down, 24 to go, or 20 to go. Ryan Villas led from the drop of the green flag. He won the dash, started on the pole here for the feature. Looking to bring home his first win during Kings Royal Week here for the Dirty Old Bastards. Right behind him is Tanner Pettit in the 24. Aiden Stoll in 3rd. All right, we're going to get green flag in the air. Once again, we got a few drivers down on pit road. I think they're going to give them a little bit of time here to get some repairs done. Green flag in the air. Avila now off of turn number 4. He will take the into turn number 1 up to the top of the racetrack. Here comes Pettit to 2nd. Stoll now to 3rd. Hoffman falls to 4th. Villagren up to 5th, and it's single file on top of the racetrack. Nothing down on the bottom. If you're going to make a pass, you're going to have to get the momentum down the straightaway. Caution in the air for the 3rd time. I see the wing off the top of the 26 of Rogers. It looks like Skirring might be involved in this one as well. Let's see what happens here. Take a look at Rogers. Rogers up on the outside of Skirring, and they're just going to make contact. Skirring had no idea Rogers was coming along with a head of steam on the outside. Went up to the outside, caught the left front of Rogers, sends Rogers upside down. And we are under caution once again. All right, I think we got 23 laps left to go in this. Well, no more once we go back to green flag racing. See if we can get a long green flag round, see if anybody can get something working right here. I think the only way you're going to get anything else to work but the top of the racetrack is if we can get enough green flag laps and somebody gets down to the bottom to try to make it work. But right now, Ryan Avila is looking really, really good on the top. It looks like right up on the top is where you want to be, right on the cushion. You see that a lot of times here at Eldora. We saw the slider line working last night through 3 and 4. But so far tonight, it is right up against the fence, right up against the concrete. Single file. Anybody trying to get down on the bottom has just lost ground and fallen back. All right, green flag will fly this time around. We got about a half lap left to go. Get back to racing here. The Dirty Old Bastards, Kings Royal, night number 2, the Joker's Wild 30. Green flag in the air. Ryan Avila with a good jump. Here comes Stoll looking to the bottom. Takes a look to the inside. Hoffman's going to try to slide him into 1 and 2. Hoffman slides up the racetrack. Can't quite make the pass. That is going to give up some ground to Villagren as Hoffman's able to slide up in front of Villagren there for 5th. Villagren lost some momentum. Riley Gray gets by him. Gray now up to 6th. Villagren crossing the back over off of turn number 4. And we got caution in the air once again. And it looks like it's Childers and maybe Chris Lynn in the 32. So the noseman gone off of the 11. Take another look at the SGR replay. And we see the 11 of Childers way down on the bottom of the racetrack. Rogers up on the top. You see him getting him and Sheridan make a little bit of contact. But here comes here comes Childers. And it looks like Lynn's already gone around up in front of him. So whatever started there started with Chris Lynn. Let's even take a quick look at it here in real time. Watch the 32. He's got Jafe Shafe right there behind him. They come off of turn number 2. And Lynn just got loose right there, lost some momentum, and Shafe just got in the back of him. Shafe's going to go for a ride as well. We didn't see that initially, but the wing's gone off of the 3 car, so it's Shafe involved in this one as well. So we see a bunch of drivers diving down pit road, getting some repairs done. Rogers, Pickle, and it looks like the 37 is scurrying as well. All right, we haven't got more than about 2 or 3 laps under green flag here in these last restarts. See if we can get ourselves a nice long run going here. Ryan Avila out in front, as I've said a dozen times already during this event. Pettit 2nd, Stoll in 3rd, Hoffman to 4th, Anthony Villigan with a good run there in 5th, Ryland Gray 6th, Jeffrey West in 7th. Back to 8th, it's A-Case, the SGR out of Nampa, Idaho. Good run here for Case up to the 8th spot. Spencer Putney in 9th. Jeremy Zarfos in 10th. And we see Johnny Vaughn Jr. back in the 11th spot. Austin Griffey 12th. Greg Robinson 13th. Tony Dominguez in the 14th spot. Then it's Dustin Sargent, your B-Main winner, back here in 15th. And green flag in the air once again. Avila Pettit. Who's that way down on the bottom? That looked like Villagren trying to make something happen. He's going to slide. Oh, that was Gray, actually. Gray tried to make a move. Villagren was able to cross him over off of 2. The top 4 just hugging the top of the racetrack. Nobody really trying to get out of line. Stoll has got a good run on Pettit. Let's see if he can make a move into 3. We jump on board here with the 7 of Stoll. One of the features last night. Takes a look to the inside. Is he able to run on Pettit? He does. He's going to slide him in front of him. But he's not going to be able to clear it. Contact with the 24. Aiden Stoll tried to make the slider off into 1, gets into the left front of Pettit. Pettit goes upside down. Tanner Pettit has to jump to the pit, so he's got a tow, so that's going to take him a little while to get that repair done. That is usually about 1.5 minutes for tow time, plus repairs on top of that. So that might be the end of Tanner Pettit's night. But let's see. It looks like Race Control has already made the call. Aiden Stoll getting sent to the back of the line here for contact with the 24. So Aiden Stoll will go back to the end of the longest line here after running up in the top 3. That is going to move Kenny Hoffman up to 2nd, Anthony Villagren to 3rd, Ryland Gray to 4th, and Case now has made his way up into 5th. All right, we didn't have to watch a replay of that because we saw it live. Contact there with Aiden Stoll and Tanner Pettit. Pettit still down on pit road. We've got a bunch of drivers down in the SGR hot pit trying to get some repairs done. Sheridan, Shafe, Rogers, Childers all down on pit road. Pickle as well, just trying to get his car repaired. Michael Scurrying. We see Pettit there, of course, and then Chris Lynn all down on pit road trying to get some repairs done. Braden Eyler looks to be the only driver out of this race at this point. Started 24, we're down to 23. All right, it's going to be a side-by-side restart. Avila on the bottom. He chose the bottom of the racetrack. Hoffman up on the outside. Gray and Villigan. Here comes Rogers and Scurry now off the pit road. Here comes Sheridan as well. I have not seen the 24 Tanner Pettit. I do not think he's going to make it back out after getting towed in, and he is still down there trying to get some repairs. He's hoping maybe for another quick caution if he's going to try to get some repairs done. All right, green flag coming out once again. Ryan Avila to the bottom. with a good jump over his teammate Kenny Hoffman. Here comes Riley Gray taking a look to the inside. Here comes Villagren as well. Gray now up to third. Villagren to fourth. More contact back in the middle, and around goes Case. Case is going to go around. They're going to pile it up. I see Sargent upside down. Sheridan around. Pickle involved in this one as well. It looks like the 24 of West basically crab walking down to the pit road. The number 1 at Case limping in with heavy damage on the front of the number 1. Let's see if we can see what happened here on this one. All right, this happened right after the green flag, so let's keep an eye on the 1 of Case because it started right there around him somewhere. So it looks like it may have happened up in front of him. That's exactly what happened. The 24 gets together. They come off at turn number 2. The 19 is Zarfos taking a look to the inside. Here comes, let's see what happens here. Maybe I went back a little too far. Looks like I did go back a little too far here. All right, let's take a look at it now. All right, so here it is, Case up in the outside right there. It looks like the 38 makes some contact, and here comes the 24. The 24 is going to drift up into the 1, and then it's all hell breaks loose behind that. So that was Jeffrey West in the 24, drifted up the racetrack, got into the left rear of the number 1, and then from there on, it was just everybody piling in. So we're under caution once again here in the Joker's Wild 30. We got, I think it looks like we've got 13 down, 17 left to go. Green flag once again. Ryan Avila, Kenny Hoffman, Anthony Villagren. Ryan with another good start. We're 3 wide back here for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Gray now up to 3rd. Villagren to 4th. Griffey. Gray running the slider line through 1 and 2. Is that going to be to his advantage right now? Looks like everything's been right up on the top of the racetrack. Let's take a look here at our leader, Ryan Avila. Kenny Hoffman, Rylan Gray now, and here comes Villagren. Villagren right on the back bumper of the 06. And that's Griffey with the ghosted out wing, and we've got caution once again. Caution on the speedway. One more time, and it looks like it might have been Johnny Vaughn Jr. limping down the front straightaway here. It looks like the right front may be gone off of the 30. I'll take a quick look here. Yeah, SGR replay is getting some use here. Rogers scurrying, and it looks like Pettit. So Pettit made it back onto the racetrack. Pettit way down on the bottom. He's going to try to slide all 3 of these drivers. Going to park it on the nose of the 30. Contact right there, and that's going to put Vaughn upside down in turn number 4. We're under caution here once again for the dirty old bastards. Kings Royal Week night number 2, the Joker's the Wild 30, and it has been wild. Ryan Avila, Kenny Hoffman, Rylan Gray's up 4 spots up to 3rd. Austin Griffey, your biggest mover of the race, he's up 14. Started back there in 19th, he's up to 5th. Spencer Putney, Michael Scurrying with a good run, he's up 17 spots. Started dead last in this race, he's up to 7th. Good crowd here tonight at Eldora. And we got lots more action coming your way the rest of this week. Do not forget to hit the notifications. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a like. Let's see who you think's going to win this race. Get up here in the chat. Tell us who you think's going to win this race. Is there going to be anybody in the top 5? Can anybody beat Ryan Avila right now? He looks to have this race under control. If we can just get a long green flag run, we're going to go green flag this time off the corner. Ryan Avila, Kenny Hoffman, TPR teammates. Rylan Gray back there in 3rd. Little ways back at Spencer Putney now up to 6. Aiden Stoll has worked his way back up to 7th after getting sent to the back for some contact earlier with Tanner Pettit. And you can see the bump developing right there at the top of the racetrack in 3 and 4. Stoll now takes a look to the inside. They'll lose a little momentum. That's going to let Dominguez on the outside of the racetrack. This is our battle back here for 7th and 8th up front right now. Avila, half a second out in front of Kenny Hoffman. Ryland Gray, Anthony Villagran, single file on the outside, the top 4. Then it's a little ways back to Austin Griffey in 5th. Spencer Putney's now worked his way up to 6th. Dominguez to 7th. Villagran down to the bottom of the racetrack. And Gray's going to get into the outside wall. He's going to go upside down. We're going to stay green flag. It looks like Ryland Gray with a mistake gets into the outside wall. Going to take himself out of this. I did not see any contact. Villagran had looked to the inside. Your top 3 now way out in front. Then it's a little ways back to Griffey in 4th. Griffey, Dominguez, Matt Rogers in this now. Here comes Stoll as well. So 4 cars here battling it out for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Stoll with a big move. Big move there from Aiden Stoll. He's going to get by 3 cars in 1 corner. Aiden Stoll goes from 8th all the way up to 4th. Here comes Rogers back down on the bottom of the racetrack. Dominguez right there as well. We see Pickle limping around the middle of the racetrack right now. Contact down the back straightaway between Putney and the 57 of Austin Griffey. Out in front, it is still Avila. Little ways back to Hoffman and Villagran. Stoll hoping for a caution flag. He's now got back up to 4th. And there's that caution flag he was hoping for. As we see Spencer Putney stopped on the racetrack. Let's see if we can see what happened here to Spencer Putney. They were beating and banging back there for a little while. Looked like maybe Matt Rogers might be involved in this one as well. So we see Pickle limping down the back straightaway. And let's see if we can find Putney here. Where is he on the racetrack here? So Spencer Putney down here on the bottom. And there's contact going on. It looked like behind that. It looked like Sheridan. Well, Sheridan with some contact with the 57 of Griffey. That's what's going to bring out our latest caution. Also, Shafe stopped on the racetrack at the same time. So it looked like a couple different incidents going on here at the same time. We'll take a look one more time, see what can happen to here to Shafe. So right as the caution get ready to come out, let's see what happens here to Jay Shafe. He's on the racetrack here by himself. It looks like maybe Rogers gets into the outside wall in front of him, and he doesn't. Shafe really doesn't have anywhere to go, and Rogers just comes down across the racetrack, right across in front of the 3. So a mistake right there for Shafe rejoining, and that's Putney. That's where Putney got into this as well. So that's our second incident here, bringing out the caution. All right. By my timing and scoring, we got 5 laps left to go. And maybe a little bit less than that. We'll find out. We go back to green flag racing. Avila, Hoffman, Villagran, Stoll, and Dominguez. That's your top 4. And Dominguez in 5th. Sorry, Scurry now up to 6th. Scurry, our biggest mover of the race, up 18 spots. Started in 24th all the way up to 6th. Michael Scurry has passed 16 cars. All right, green flag in the air once again. Avila, Hoffman, Villagran, and Stoll. Stoll with a good run to get back to 4th. Does he have anything for our leaders? Dominguez into the wall right there behind him in 5th. Here comes Scurry to 6th. Once again, watch the 7 of Stoll. This is your battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Avila setting sail. Here comes Stoll right up on the back bumper of Villagran. We jump on board with Aiden Stoll heading to turn number 3. Takes a look to the inside. No, he's going to say right up on the outside, right up on the cushion behind Villagran. Off at turn number 4. Does he have a run down into turn number 1? No, he lost the momentum, actually. Dominguez coming out of Dominguez into the outside wall. He's going to lose a spot to Scurry, and Scurry looking to get around the outside. Scurry will look to the bottom now. Scurry will go down to the bottom of Dominguez into 3 and 4. Across the line, 2 to go. Popsicle sticks in the air for Ryan Avila, Kenny Hoffman, Aiden Stoll, and Anthony Villagran. Putney down back up to 8th, and Putney is upside down, coming off of turn number 2, but I think we're going to say green flag, white flag in the air for Ryan Avila. 1 more lap left to go to take the win here in the Joker's Wild 30. The 57 of Griffey right there in front of him up on the lap car here on the last lap. Avila down on the bottom of the racetrack. He is going to come home with a win here tonight. Kenny Hoffman in 2nd, Aiden Stoll 3rd, Anthony Villagran with a good run there in 4th, scurrying up to 5th. Dominguez falls back to 6th. Right at the end, Zarfos to 7th, Jay Shafe in 8th, Michael Sheridan 9th, Greg Robinson, Jeremy Childers, Austin Griffey, and Joshua Pickle look to be our 13 cars that finished this race out of the 24 that started. So Ryan Avila coming home with the win. He will park it up on the Eldora Speedway victory circle. Hoffman and Stoll will park it up on the podium. That's your podium finish right there tonight. Fireworks going off. The flames are firing off here in Victory Lane. We'll go back and take a look here at the last couple of laps. We'll also jump into the Discord and see who's with us. But watch that white flag lap one more time here for Ryan Avila. Ryan just had complete command of this race. Started on the pole, led from the start, did not look back, fought off the caution flags, never really had to deal with traffic until that very last lap. This was the white flag lap for Ryan Avila. Let's take a look here in the Discord, see if we can get somebody up here with us. All right, Ryan, you got Chris in the booth. Are you there?
Yeah.
Well, don't sound too excited after winning the race there, buddy. Good run, man. Good run out there tonight. You started, actually, I got Aiden here, didn't I?
Yeah.
All right, sorry. All right, sorry about that. Let me put you back up there real quick. You know what? Let's just go ahead. We'll just get you first here. Sorry about that, Aiden. I thought I had grabbed Ryan. All right. So kind of tell us about how your night went here, Aiden. Come home with a third place finish, kind of a yo-yo up and down throughout the field. Kind of tell us how your night was from where you were at.
Yeah, I don't know. Pretty good in the heat race. I mean, kind of got unlucky there at the start, but besides that, just made a terrible move there and killed Tanner. Just sorry to him. That was not my intention. I thought I threw it as deep as I possibly could, and it still wasn't clear. But just my bad to him. But other than that, it was kind of just hard to pass. You had to wait for somebody to make a mistake, and it's kind of hard to do that with everybody coming up through the field.
Yeah, just really right up on the top tonight. There really didn't look like there was anything down on the bottom. I saw a couple guys trying it; they just could not find any grip. And I mean, as we see so many times here at Eldora, it's a slide or die if you're going to make your way up to the front. And you'll contact there with Tanner. We've seen you race enough. We know that's not how you run, but they put you back to the back, and you made your way back up through the field. Just a great charge up to third. Do you think if you could have stayed up front, did you have anything for Kenny or Ryan?
No, not really. I mean, I was trying my hardest to get past Tanner. I had one opportunity to, and Nakash came out, and that's kind of the theme the whole race. So really would have finished third anyway, but took the one guy who probably should have been second out of it.
Well, you picked up the win last night on the podium tonight. A great start here for Kings Royal Week with the Dirty Old Bastards. How you feeling about tomorrow night? 35 laps of action for the night before.
Just a full reset from tonight. Hope to qualify good and don't get the bad end of the stick of the invert.
Well, good job out there tonight, rebounding back. But Ben, before we get you out of here, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I got to thank everybody over at Coast to Coast, Majority Speed Shop, Victory Seats. Just without any of them, it wouldn't be possible. And Chris for broadcast and the other Chris for race control.
All right, brother. Well, have yourself a good rest. It's going to be a fun week. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night. Have yourself a good rest of the night. We'll see you tomorrow.
You too, for sure, man.
All right. Let's make sure I get Ryan in here. All right, Ryan Avila here in the booth. Fantastic job there, buddy. I mean, that was just Sunday. Looked like you're on a Sunday drive out there.
Yeah, I was really good and confident in my car tonight, and we start up front and not really much passing. It looked like so. Just set good laps and never really slipped up enough to let them catch, and just maintain control.
Yeah, it looked like pretty mistake-free. Quite a few cautions in this. I mean, you looked really solid on the restarts. Do you have any kind of plan there at that point? Or, I mean, you had Kenny right there behind you. You knew he wasn't going to do anything crazy on the restarts especially, but it looked like your restarts are just really strong. You're getting a good run off of 4, leading into about 5 or 6 car lengths just about every time into 1.
Yeah, I knew if I could keep the wheels under me, especially just getting to the grip off the front stretch, and then I found sliding it into 1 and 2 was better. Not sure what they were doing behind me, but if I kept my wheel spin up, it was almost better to get in like the marbles, and it'd shoot me forward more, and I'd get up off of it. But yeah, I kind of did the same exact thing every single restart. Middle of the race or at the beginning, we kind of tried something different, where try and help Kenny to get up to Aiden, and eventually probably slide Tanner at some point, and we went to the top, and it seemed to work. It just I wasn't too comfortable with it, so honestly, if it didn't hurt me, I probably was doing it. So yeah, not too bad on the restarts. Definitely could tone down the cautions a little bit, keep me a little bit better. But yeah, see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, few cautions here. We've seen quite a few cautions last night and tonight. Kind of the nature of the beast here. A lot of times when you're single file up around the top of the racetrack, you were able to make the bottom work. We talked about that last night after you finished on the podium last night. But you made the bottom work a little bit last night, but just a little different track conditions tonight. Just really nothing down there for anybody.
Yeah, honestly, if Chris wants to, honestly try something tomorrow where it's not really the biggest show of the week, and maybe resets during that warm up, and honestly, what he did, for that, it was unlucky. He had to set up another server, but honestly, I think the track was just a bit better, and maybe if he would want to try that. I'm not too sure how he feels on that. I know he loves the slick tracks, and many people aren't fans of them, but yeah, it's kind of just how it is, and yeah, I mean, last night wasn't bad. It just kind of once it does single file out, it's kind of like that, but like you said, there wasn't really much of it tonight, so. Yeah, I mean, if we could see something different for tomorrow, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit different conditions. Maybe we'll get a little weather system come through early in the day, put a little moisture down on the speedway, a little bit of something different tomorrow night. But hey man, great run. You back-to-back podiums here, bringing home the win. This is your first victory during Kings Royal Week for the Dirty Old Bastards. How you feeling about tomorrow night and Friday?
Oh yeah, should be given we don't get screwed in the redraw or the invert tomorrow in the heat race, we should be set for the feature. But yeah, I mean, if things don't go our way, went 18th to second last night, so should be able to put that behind us, and yeah, set us up for real well for the Thursday show. But yeah, if there's a different track state, or if it's the same, I think we're dominant enough to be out front and either drive through the pack or figure it out. But
Well, another fantastic run, man. It just seems like whenever you find your way to the front, you just don't make any mistakes. You got up front tonight and just drove away from the field. But congratulations once again. And Bam, but before we get you out of here, anybody else you want to give a shout out to?
oh yeah, Chris for putting the league on, and yourself for broadcasting. Super sick to always be broadcasted in these events, and honestly, just not many of them going on. So, and then obviously Tanner Pettit, Kenny, and Bryce. Super solid last night from Bryce, and Kenny showing up tonight and running second. Really good. I think we show we have the speed. Just got to get lucky on the on the starting positions. But yeah, just Jimmy P Mac Tools, 1425 Photography, Aces Up Sim Sports, CD Cinematography, Trackside Collective, Blake Carrick Racing, Ethan Johnson over at Free Speed, and Simrat Market for helping us out.
Well, another good night, man. I got a couple guys I know in this race that's their first time running the 410s, and I sent them to TPR to get the setup. So you can see we know how good the setups are with Tanner Pettit Racing, man. Good run tonight. Good luck the rest of the week, and I'm sure we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Take care. All right, let's get our second place finisher action here. Kenny Hoffman. Kenny, are you there?
Yeah.
Good job there tonight, man. I know I've talked to you enough throughout over the year that I know you want to be one more spot up, but again, your teammate Ryan up there in the front, you kind of tell us, do you think you had anything for him there? If you could have maybe got some long green flag runs?
I don't know. I feel like Ryan was just a little bit more consistent than I was. I haven't really been too consistent lately. Just not really turning as many laps. So I feel like if we were at least a little bit more consistent, maybe we could at least help with them. But I mean, he was kind of holding a pretty wicked pace, and just the way the track was, and in order to slide somebody, just to even try to race them, it was just a little too sketchy. So I don't even know if I would have taken it to that extreme. Honestly, just not really worth junking two team cars up front. So obviously, yeah, like you said, no, would like to win, but overall, it just wasn't really a bad night for us. Obviously, kind of sucks that Tanner kind of got screwed there, and I feel like we definitely could have just been another 1-2-3 finish for the team, and which would have been pretty cool as well.
Yeah, TPR up in front once again. You guys 1-2-3 there for a little while. I expect to see that the rest of the week as well. Tomorrow night we come back for 40 laps of action. Or is it 35 laps tomorrow night? Yeah, you missed last night's show, but you're going to come back tomorrow night. I'm sure we're hoping for a little bit different racetrack, but kind of tell us about the rest of the week, what your plans are for tomorrow and Thursday.
Yeah, just gonna come back and just send it. Just obviously try to win, and main goal is to win. I don't know what you said. We have 2 more nights, so what, Thursday, the main night, the big night. Hopefully, we can end up on top. So that'd be pretty cool to win. So, just gonna send it, see what we can do. Just gotta thanks to Tanner and the whole team. Just really appreciate Tanner, what he's done for us, and I know they had good results yesterday. I think we got Bryce that won the first one, and Ryan came up second in the second one. So, huge thanks to Tanner for everything he does, and congrats to Ryan on winning tonight. Like I said, he was very, very quick and just had a really good pace. So, and then everyone that just works with us, and Aces Upson Sport, Simrack Market, I'm sure I'm forgetting. Jimmy P. Mac Tools, BCR, Free Speed, and thanks for broadcasting. I'm sure it's kind of been a long night with all the yellows. Kind of wish it stayed green a little bit longer, and thanks to Chris for putting this on, and hopefully the racing gets a little bit better, because I know Chris, and I know he's probably not too happy with the way at least tonight went with all the yellows we had.
Yeah, man, you guys put on such a great show up front. I'd love to see some long green flag runs. I mean, it just seems like just as things start happening, we get another caution, and I know from my years of experience just how frustrating that could be out there. You just kind of think you start getting something set up on somebody, and then caution flag flies once again. But it just seems like every time we get in a race and you're here with us, we find you up on the podium. So good to talk to you once again, and I think you're going to be back up here tomorrow night. We'll see you tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, hopefully, hopefully everything goes well, and we qualify good, or I think it switches over to outlaw format for tomorrow, sure, if I'm not mistaken. So should be heads up, I believe.
I think the invert was all week, but I have to clarify that with Chris.
Okay, yeah. If the invert's all week, hopefully we just get lucky, kind of how we did tonight. That was very, very helpful, considering my lap wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. So, yeah, if we can just keep getting lucky, and hopefully we can. You'll just say that. Hopefully we just keep getting lucky with this spin wheel.
Yeah, no doubt. It's always better to be lucky than good most of the time. But all right, man. Okay, good job. Another great finish, and good luck for the rest. Or have a good rest of the night, and good luck tomorrow. We'll talk to you then.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you again for broadcasting.
You bet. Take care.
Bye.
All right, that is going to wrap it up. So we're going to take a quick look here at our full results, as we're going to just kind of jump back here and play some slow-mo in the background. All right, so full results here for our 30-lap feature. Night number 2 for the Dirty Old Bastards, Kings Royal here, the Joker's Wild 30. Coming home with the win, and that's the B main. So we're going to look at the A main here. There we go. Ryan Avila bringing home the win here, his first win during Kings Royal week with the DOB. Kenny Hoffman in second, Aiden Stoll third. Anthony Villagran's going to come home in the 4th spot, and Michael Skuring. Great run for Michael there in 5th. Tony Dominguez 6th. Jeremy Zarfoss 7th. Jay Schaaf 8th. Michael Sheridan and Greg Robinson round out the top 10. Then back in 11th, it was Jeremy Childers, Austin Griffey. So the top 11, only 11 on the lead lap. Griffey a lap down there in 12th. Spencer Putney 13th. Joshua Pickle 14th. Matt Rogers in the 15th spot. Rylan Gray, who ran up front for a good part of the night, is going to come home in 16th. Johnny Vaughn Jr. in 17th. Tanner Pettit was also up in front, had a good spot, got together with Aiden Stoll. He is going to find himself way back there in 18th. A-Case also was up in the top 5 for a little while. He's going to come home in 19th. 20th spot will go to Jeffrey West. Back in 21st, your B-main winner did not have a good run in there in the A. Justin Sargent in 21st. Trevor Royer back in 22nd. Chris Lynn and Braden Eyler will round out our 24-car feature. So that is going to be our full results here for the Jokers Wild, night number 2. Ryan Avila once again bringing home the win. So we're going to go and get ourselves out of here. Don't forget, tomorrow night we're back here at 9 o'clock Eastern with round number 3 of the Kings Royal. It is the night before the Kings Royal. That's kind of an odd name for it, just the night before. I don't know. So that's tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern. Also tomorrow night on the channel, we have the Smoking Thunder ARCA Series. Sagar Basky is going to bring you coverage on that. We'll be back tomorrow night as well. We usually cover the Western Racing League live on tonight. We're going to bring you that kind of extended coverage tomorrow night at about 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific, my time. And then Thursday night, we're going to finish off the Kings Royal with a 40-lap feature. Crown another king. Can Mason Hannagan pick up his 3rd win? Is it going to be somebody new? It's either going to be Mason or somebody new at this point, as no other champions have joined us here so far this week. Also Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, it's the Cars Late Model Series. Liam Irving bringing you coverage on that one. So if you like some pavement late model racing, check out that. That's going to be at 8 o'clock Eastern, right before we come live here with the Knights, with the Kings Royal. Friday night, it's the Half Decent Racing League Truck Series, and that is going to bring you all the coverage we have for you for DRSN this week. But make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications. You don't want to miss any action coming your way. So congratulations to Ryan Avila on another victory here in the Dirty Old Bastards, but his first victory here during Kings Royal Week. So we're going to go ahead and check out of here right now. So from all of us here at DRSN, thank you so much for spending your evening with us. I'm Chris Murphy saying keep it smooth, keep it smart, and if you can't do that, at least to keep it entertaining for the folks at home. We're going to see you next time. Good night.